Welcome to News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery.
Welcome to the West Texas View. I'm Johnny Lou Avery, and we're going to have so much fun today because we're going to talk about the summer mummers. And the summer mummers you've been hearing a whole lot about. The title this year, this is the 64th year, and the title is Episode 64, Scurrilous Among the Stars, or May the Farce Be With You. So we're going to have so much fun talking to David Odom and Jennifer Odom, who have been working on this project of Summer Mummers for a long, long time. David for 19 years and Jennifer for 6, and they're great ones to talk about it because they've done everything. They've worked backstage, they've written the script, they've helped get the queen ready, they've done the props, they've done the sets, everything, even the acting. So we're going to have a good time. David and Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us today. And I want you to start out by telling me a little bit about each of you and how you got involved in the Summer Mummers. And let's start with you, Jennifer.
Well, I moved away for college, and when I came back after I was done with everything, I needed a way to find people that were my age. And so I got involved with the theater, and I was in Beauty and the Beast and then Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, and then the summer came along and I said, let's do Summer Mummers, because I had actually seen it many times growing up, and got on stage my first year as the heroine sidekick and just couldn't let it go. It was just too much fun. So.
And that's a great social outlet for volunteers that want to help with this.
Absolutely.
And all during our program, I want you to be thinking out in the audience of ways that you can get involved, that you can lend your talent to this. If not this year, if you want to just come and enjoy the program this year, well, at least next year you can start working on it, because you start planning Summer Mummers a long time in advance.
Absolutely.
Yes. And let's hear your story, David.
I actually started Summer Mummers in 1993. I was a senior in high school, and a friend asked me to go to auditions as moral support, and I ended up auditioning with her, and I got cast, and she didn't, and just started a long line of volunteerism at Mummers. I've done everything. I started on the stage in the melodrama. We also have an oleo troupe, which is some short skits that go on after the melodrama itself, and I participated in that. One of them is the Jake and Elwood, which is a Blues Brothers tribute that we do every year, and right before Mule Train, so it's a lot of fun.
I know.
But the good thing about volunteering at Summer Mummers is there's so many areas that we need help.
That's right.
We need over 100 volunteers a night to put on the show, and the show runs from June 8th through September 1st this year, every Friday and Saturday. So if you can imagine that, that's a lot of volunteers that we need every summer. So we're definitely always looking for new blood to come into our family there.
And the interesting thing is you can kind of pick and choose what you'd like to do. And the other nice thing is that as you say, I just want to kind of be a little mouse behind the stage and behind the scenes, and all of a sudden the next year you're branching out and doing new things. But I love what you said, that the main reason you got involved was for the social outlet and to meet new friends. And so a lot of the mobile people that are moving into the Permian Basin needs to do this. And you have a lot of people working on Summer Mummers that don't live in Midland. Is that correct?
Yeah, we actually have several people. I'm on the dancer squad this year. We have a dancer that's from Kermit. We have one that's from Big Spring. I mean, there's people that come in from all over the area that have just heard about this and just want to be involved.
Or like you grew up seeing it.
Absolutely.
Because in Big Spring, I know that we always brought a busload from our church to watch it from a group of.
Well, and it's not just in town. We always, every night, we ask who's from Texas, who's from, how far are you out from? California, New York. We've had a group, I think, come from Illinois. Every year. We have another group that comes from Canada every year.
Well, and actually we had a group from London that came in that makes a yearly trip, actually, so for the last 2-3 years. So we're nationwide, or international, I guess.
One of the things that I heard was that a group came into town from another state so they could go back home and pattern this program in their town, and
That's
that
cool.
was about probably about 1988 that I heard
Oh,
that.
okay. Well, it's been a very successful fundraiser for the theater. And a lot of people don't know that every dollar that we raise at Summer Mummers goes straight to Midland Community Theater, to their operating budget. So, and that's honestly how Summer Mummers began in 1949 as a fundraiser for Midland Community Theater, and it has stayed that way. And last year we were able to give about $450,000 to the theater just from revenue from Summer Mummers. So we account for almost half of the operating budget for Midland Community Theater.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't even know it's connected with Midland Community Theater.
Right.
They just think this is a city project or something. And
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly the volunteers from the theater, but I mean, if you've never even been involved in theater, you are more than welcome to come out. We encourage it, you know.
Mummers is a great place to
even
start.
if you don't do anything but make the popcorn.
Absolutely,
Well, you
because
know, and
let me tell you, that popcorn room is some fun.
You know, they start working on the popcorn. We open the doors to the theater at 7 and start the show at 8, but the popcorn crews are there at 4 o'clock to start on popcorn.
Because there's you make
Oh,
lots of
it's-
money
Right.
selling
We,
popcorn.
It's easily ankle deep on the floor by the end of the night.
We went through last year, we sold 10 tons of popcorn, and we expect to do more than that this year. Because
we ran
amounts
out
to
the
about
last
$100,000 that we made just in popcorn sales last year.
I know.
And almost all of it ends up on the floors. So.
But the fun thing is everybody's involved.
Absolutely, yes.
I mean, whether it's a little tiny child or a senior citizen like me, well, they're all having fun.
Absolutely.
But I want us to talk about how you put together a Summer Mummers program. I know that you're the playwright for this year's program. That means that you wrote the script, but who gets the characters? And I know
Okay.
some of them even come from out of town, and so.
Well, Jennifer and I, this is our second script that has been selected for
oh, so
Summer
y'all
Mummers.
co-wrote it?
Yes,
Yes,
we co-wrote it,
yes.
yes. So our first one was last year, and then we were lucky enough this year to have a script chosen again. And we typically start with coming up with character names and a title for the show, and then that leads us through how we build the rest of the show around that. But that's typically our starting point.
And then your theme is really what puts it all together.
Right, we have basically the same characters every year in the show, but they're up against a different backdrop.
setting,
Yes,
yes.
absolutely. But there's always people always have favorites. We have the villain who's basically the same mean guy every year, and then the hero who is definitely the do-gooder and is always on the right side of things. So those characters are a constant, but they just change the backdrop that they're up against.
Well, we're going to have to take a break right now, but in just a second, David and Jennifer are going to come back, and they're going to talk about this year's show and all of the people that are involved. See you in just a second.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.